To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. I've been thinking about the solar panels quite a bit here lately. Well, the last couple days. Please ignore the idea that they're on the ground. I like them on the ground. I've explained this in previous videos. This is where they're going to stay. I have 10 100-watt solar panels. So that's 1,000 watts that I can generate at full sun. So at noon, no clouds, 1,000 watts. It really is everything we need, pretty much. I mean, on really cloudy days, the charge controller doesn't kick on. That's a downside, but that's just solar panels. There's nothing I can do about that. So occasionally I have to run the generator, but for the most part, this does the job for us. In the wintertime, it's a little bit more difficult because there's more cloudy days. The days are shorter. I've been really thinking about what's happening right now. The power grid, please forgive me, I don't watch a lot of news. So the news I get is from fear-mongering channels. They tell you, the world's come to an end, and here's why. But I've been hearing a lot that a lot of areas are being shut down. The power grid's being shut down because it's so hot. Everybody's running their air conditioners. So you get an hour without electricity. Well, I don't have that problem. As a matter of fact, not that long ago, we had a thunderstorm come through here, and I guess we were out of electric for a day. I didn't even know about it. Didn't even notice. Had everything, convenience that I've had every day. The thing is before Carolyn and I started living off-grid, one of the things I really stressed about was TV. I'm an 80s kid. We were raised on the TV. The TV was our babysitter. MTV, I remember going to my friend's house and the TV was always on MTV. I didn't have MTV, mine was VH1. So growing up, I watched a lot of TV, and then when I became an adult, TV was my form of entertainment. When we were gonna go live as nomads, it was very difficult for me to shut off the cable. I just couldn't see me doing it. I was like, man, we gotta have cable. But once we got on the road and we had Netflix, and that's all really we have. Just recently I got Amazon Prime, and that's because I've found that it's a lot cheaper to pay for Amazon Prime than it is to go to town to buy things all the time, because we live so far away from town. So I can have things delivered, that's a lot cheaper. So now we have Amazon Prime that we can watch TV also. But once we got on the road, Netflix really did kind of supplement my TV need. And now Carolyn and I only watch TV from about 7 p.m. to about 9 p.m. We find something to binge watch. We watch 2 or 3 episodes every night. We watch it off the phone. We used to watch it off our iPad, but now that we got this AT&T, we used to have Verizon Jetpack, but over here we don't have Verizon. So we have AT&T, and we have limited amount of hotspot. So we can't use the iPad, so we use the phone. So we've been able to limit the amount of electricity that we use each day. We just got a vacuum sealer, which is an electrical appliance. You can get these bags and you vacuum seal the bags. The reason we got it was we also are going to get the attachment so you can vacuum seal jars. So we can vacuum dry foods like rice and dry rice, coffee beans, whatever. Or if we have leftovers, we can put it in a jar and vacuum seal the jar. But it's an electrical appliance. So the first thing you got to think is, well, can we run it? I remember Carolyn asked if she could have a wet dry vac. And I thought, I don't know if we can power that. We had one when we had the pop-up camper, and the generator did okay. But on solar panels, I wasn't sure we'd be able to power it. Well, it was able to power it, we're fine. But you're always thinking about, do we have the energy to actually run the device that we need? Power tools. I can't have very many power tools. My circular saw almost maxed out my generator. As a matter of fact, if I run it too long, the generator can't handle it. Or I push the saw too hard, generator shut down. So we can't have a lot of power tools. A lot of my power tools now are battery operated, my drills and screwdrivers. So it got me to thinking, well, how is it that I use so much electricity when I was living in a house, but I don't feel the need to use electricity here? So let me explain this. I just Googled this, and the average household uses 850 kilowatts per month. So if you take that times 10 cents per kilowatt, and that's about the average, I think. I didn't actually Google that, but that was what it was a few years ago, 10 cents. Here in Missouri, it's 3 cents in the winter, 6 cents in the summer. So you use 850 times 10 cents, that's about $85, 100 bucks, you know, whatever, per month on electric. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, I don't use 800 kilowatts per month. I've used 150 kilowatts in the last year, over a year. We moved here in March last year, and it's June now, July, maybe it's July. So over a year and 3 or 4 months, we've used 150. So barely even a fraction of which each household uses per month. And I feel like we have everything we need. I don't miss anything. So I've been told many, many, many times that there's no way solar panels will ever pay for themselves. And that is a true statement. If I look at it per kilowatt, they'll never pay for themselves. I've used 156 kilowatts in a year. So if I take 156 kilowatts times 10 cents in the last year, that's $15, $15.60. My solar panels cost well over $1,000 with the inverter, the batteries, the charge controller, and the solar panels. $15 in a year, I mean, how many years is this gonna take? 100 years it'll take for me to pay off solar panels. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as how much am I saving per month from when I was in a house? $80 a month in a house, $100 a month. Let's just make it easy, $100 a month. In 10 months, the solar panels paid for themselves because I'm no longer paying the $100 a month. Now, I will admit that I do use the generator and I'm not taking that cost into consideration. So there is a bit more cost from the generator. But I don't use 5 gallons of gas probably in a month, month and a half, maybe 2 months sometimes. It takes me about a week and a half to use 1 gallon. So we're talking $2 a week. So yeah, there's a little bit of extra cost that I'm not considering. But in actuality, I probably could get away from that. The biggest thing I'm using it for is my water pump, my well water pump, where now I have an inverter where I could actually run it off solar panels. It's just a lot more work, so the generator is just convenient. But I could do it all off solar. So I'm not really going to count the generator, although what I'm saying, keep in mind, there is generator cost. Why is it that I can live now without all the electric that I needed back then? And I think it is because we don't think about electric, whereas I now have to think about electric. TV, for example. I know this is silly, but I had a cat. Really liked the cat. The cat was a lady bird. I spoiled the cat rotten. When I would go to work for 17 hours a day, I would leave the TV on so she had something to listen to, little voices. Well, how much electric did that use? Well, we don't even have TV now. The other thing I would do is I would leave the temperature in the house at a comfortable temperature for her, so she didn't get overheated in the summer or too cold in the winter. These are the things you just don't think about. Well, here, I don't have to worry about any of that. I don't have TV, don't have a pet, but even if I did, I don't have TV, so I can't turn the TV on so she can listen to. The other thing I could do is I could leave my phone behind, or Carolyn's phone behind, play music or something, if I was really worried about the pet. A lot less electricity with the phone. And as far as heat, we have the wood stove. We don't have air conditioning. I say that, we have air conditioning for the chickens, only on really hot days in the camper. In the coop, they won't need it, but as they're growing up, so they can get into the coop, we run it for about an hour in the evening for them because it's just so sweltering hot in the camper. It cools down, I shut it off, and then they're fine for the rest of the night. I was thinking about the coffee pot, for example. We had a bun coffee pot, so the water was always being warmed up. Kick on, like a water heater, kick on, shut off. We use a percolator, so you can put it over an open flame and it percolates. So I don't have that cost. Water heater is another one. I think a water heater is a very wasteful expense. We have an on-demand water heater, and I've said this in previous videos. You could take an on-demand water heater, the one I got. It's a Moray or Murray, uses propane, and it only heats water when you're using it. So you kick it on, it heats up the water instantly, shuts off, and there's nothing being heated, whereas in your tank, kicks on and off all day long, whether you're using it or not. Now, my dad just built a house, and he put a on-demand water heater, one of these cheap ones like I got. Not one can run it through your whole house if you know how to do plumbing. The TV, I want to go back to the TV. All those little appliances that go with the TV, the cable junction box that comes in from the cable, and you got all, you know, that takes up electricity. I think, if I recall, it's 100 watts an hour. So that's 1/10 of my solar panels. When I was talking to Carolyn about this, another big appliance that we don't have that a lot of homes have is washer and dryer. Carolyn does her laundry in a bucket or a sink with a toilet plunger. And then we hang our clothes out to dry. You run down there and on the weekend, you throw the wash in, then you switch it over to dryer, and then you forget about it. Well, when you wanted the clothes, they were all wrinkled. So what would you have to do? Turn the dryer back on to get the wrinkles out. So I did this challenge when I was a nomad. Take a 30-day nomad challenge. Told everybody to kind of live in a van, except just pick one room in your house and pretend it was a van. And I had some people actually do the challenge. Well, here's what I want to suggest to you. Start shutting things off. Figuring out different ways to shut things off. If you have an electric coffee pot, get yourself a percolator. The TV, stop watching TV. Literally unplug the entire assembly, the whole thing. Imagine that you have to live off solar panels. Lights. We have this little lantern, battery operated lantern that we use for light, and we just charge it up during the day when the sun's up. Just different ways to save electricity so you're not dependent on the grid. This helps you become more self-sustaining. And when the electric grid does go down, you don't need it. I hope I can inspire you to take my 30-day challenge so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.